Have you ever wondered about the intricate complexities of the Gaza war? This conflict revolves around two primary actors, Israel and Hamas. The reasons for this war involve political, territorial, and religious disputes. Tensions escalated on October 7, 2023. A devastating attack was launched by Hamas, leading to a loss of hundreds of lives and igniting a brutal war. Conflict has claimed over 33,700 lives, majorly women and children. In the next few scenes, we delve the timeline of events that led to this devastating conflict. The Gaza war was ignited by an unprecedented attack on October 7, 2023. A day of dread and despair, it marked the onset of a devastating war. This assault, orchestrated by Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, was launched from the Gaza Strip. The attack was unparalleled, with militants storming into Israel wreaking havoc and destruction. Their weapons, gunmen and rocket fire. Gunmen infiltrated deep into Israeli territory, causing the death of hundreds. But the violence didn't end there. Rockets were launched from Gaza, targeting locations within Israel. Each rocket carried a payload of fear and destruction, which descended upon the unsuspecting populace below. The casualties were staggering, with hundreds of lives lost in this initial assault. The streets turned crimson as the death toll rose to a heartbreaking total of more than 33,700 people. The human toll also included a horrifying number of hostages taken by the militants. Ordinary people were seized, their futures held hostage. The attack was an expression of long-building anger over Israeli policy. The tension had been escalating until it finally erupted in this brutal assault. This attack was not an isolated incident, but a series of events and grievances. It was a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict, a price paid blood and tears. And as the dust settled on the ruins, one thing was clear: the world would never be the same again. But what led to this violent outbreak? To comprehend the profundity of this conflict, we must delve into the past. The Israel-Palestine relationship has been strained, with the 6 preceding months to the 7th attack being particularly tumultuous. On one hand, we have the settler attacks. Israeli settlers domiciled in territories claimed by Palestinians initiated assaults. The violence hundreds of Palestinians. These were not random attacks, they were part of a disturbing trend, intensifying the hostility between. Additionally, there were altercations at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, a sacred for both Muslims and Jews, located in Jerusalem's Old City. Disputes over this holy site recurrently ignited conflicts. The frequency and ferocity of clashes escalated months prior to the attack, adding to the strained relations. But the root of the discontent runs deeper. Palestinians' anger stems from Israeli policies, especially the expansion of Israeli settlements. These settlements, constructed on land claimed by Palestinians, have been a primary point of dispute. The international community largely considers these settlements illegal, yet they continue to expand, stoking Palestinians' resentment. Furthermore, the violence at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem was a stark reminder of the deep-seated tensions over holy lands. These confrontations further ignited Palestinians' anger. All these factors amalgamated into a cooker of resentment. The Hamas attack was a response to years perceived injustice and mounting frustration over Israeli policy. This isn't justifying the violence, but providing context to a deep-rooted conflict. Understanding the backstory is crucial if we are to find a way towards a peaceful resolution. In the wake of the unprecedented assault, the Israeli military responded with swift and decisive measures. These measures extended beyond the Gaza Strip, mirroring the severity of the situation. The Israeli military conducted airstrikes and ground operations in Gaza, targeting significant locations to impede Hamas's ability to launch further attacks. The Air Force, lauded as one of the world's finest, played a critical role in these operations, employing precision strikes to reduce civilian casualties. The response didn't end there. Israel also safeguarded its home front, fortifying schools and bus stops, places where citizens often gathered. By doing so, it attempted to shield its populace from potential attacks. Israel also implemented a coded alarm alerting residents of imminent danger, allowing crucial moments to find safety. This, along with the deployment of the advanced Iron Dome missile shield, offered an added layer of security. The Iron Dome, a symbol of Israel's technological advancement, was built to intercept rockets, providing a robust defense against Hamas's relentless rocket assaults. Israel also built a high-tech fence along its border with Gaza, designed with advanced surveillance technologies to deter and detect any cross-border infiltration. Fence was not just a physical deterrent but also a psychological one, underscoring Israel's preparedness to defend itself. In the face of a grave threat, Israel's retaliation was thorough and unyielding, reaching every corner of its society from schools to borders. As a result, more 10,000 fighters lost their lives, yet the human cost this retaliation, as we shall see in the next scene, was immense. The toll of this conflict was tragically high, and it was civilians who bore the brunt of this deadly clash. The Palestinian death toll from the Israel-Hamas war exceeded an alarming 33,000. This figure becomes more and more heart-wrenching considering the majority killed were women and children. Were innocent bystanders, their lives abruptly ended by a war they didn't start. The conflict didn't only claim lives, but also displaced thousands, uprooting them from their homes. Families were broken, communities devastated, and the future of an entire generation was cast into doubt. The war left deep wounds that will take significant time to heal. Israel's blockade worsened the dire living conditions in Gaza, where many residents live in poverty and depend on international aid. Consequently, survivors of fundamental needs such as food and water envision living in such conditions, where each day is a battle for survival, where the sound of an airstrike is a chilling reminder of life's fragility. To the residents of Gaza, this was not a distant news story, it was their stark reality. The global community watched on, horrified as the human cost of the conflict escalated. The human toll of the war is a stark reminder of the devastating effects of such conflicts. It's a reminder that behind every statistic, there is a human being with dreams, hopes, and a life that was prematurely cut short. It's a reminder that in the end, it's always the innocent who pay the highest price. The Biden administration asserted Israel's right to self-defense, a stance rooted in a long-standing policy of supporting Israel while championing regional peace. The U.S. position on the Israel-Hamas conflict wasn't just rhetoric. It entailed diplomatic actions involving discussions and public declarations. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken led these efforts. He hoped Hamas would agree to Israel's extraordinarily generous proposal for a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release. Blinken also dialogued with Egyptian and Qatari mediators, adding his diplomatic influence to Israel's proposal. The goal was clear: to establish a ceasefire, free hostages, and restore peace. However, there were hitches in the U.S. response. The U.S. Office of Palestinian Affairs, in a swiftly deleted tweet, called for all sides to refrain from violence. The rapid erasure of the post hinted at the situation's delicate nature and the U.S.'s tricky position. All in all, the U.S. approach to the conflict was balanced, aiming to back an ally while promoting peace. It highlighted the U.S.'s role as a global mediator, even in scenarios laden with historical intricacies and high emotions. The U.S. continues to push for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. As the conflict continues to unfold, there are multiple potential results that could significantly change the direction of this devastating war. One such possibility is a ceasefire agreement. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has shown optimism for such a compromise, recognizing Israel's offer as extraordinarily generous. This could enable the release of hostages, a crucial stride towards conflict de-escalation, yet is a short-term fix, halting violence momentarily and permitting humanitarian aid to reach those in dire need. But it does not genuinely address the core conflict issues for a lasting resolution. Another possible development is the disarmament of the conflicting party. It is a complex process requiring intense negotiations and a radical shift in the party's strategy and principles. Disarmament could decrease the threat of future attacks but doesn't secure peace. The deep-seated issues fueling the conflict, such as territorial disputes and political discord, would still demand resolution. Additionally, disarmament is a time-consuming process. An agreement on necessary conditions is uncertain. The international community's role in such negotiations could be pivotal, ensuring compliance with any agreements reached. These are mere probabilities. The real outcomes depend on various factors, including involved parties' actions, the international community's response, and the conflict's changing dynamics. While the future is uncertain, hope for a peaceful resolution remains. As we continue to monitor the situation, we must remember the human cost of this conflict and the urgent need for a sustainable long-term solution. It's a conflict that has been brewing for years, worsened by political, religious, and territorial disputes. The series of events we've outlined in this video exposes the underlying hostility leading to this devastating war. The first attack, launched by Palestinian group Hamas, targeted multiple locations in Israel. This assault involved gunmen and a shower of rockets, causing significant loss of life and sparking a war that has claimed thousands. Israel's counterattack matched in intensity, involving airstrikes and ground operations. The use of technology such as the Iron Dome missile shield was key to intercepting incoming rockets, showcasing modern warfare's sophistication. The human toll of this conflict is immense, the Palestinian casualty count exceeding 33,000, with a large number of injured. The majority of the casualties being women and children, illustrating war's harsh reality. The United States' reaction was measured, focusing on diplomatic efforts and public statements supporting Israel's right to self-defense, while advocating for regional peace. Possible outcomes may involve a ceasefire and a hostage release deal, or mechanisms for Hamas to disarm. However, these rely heavily on negotiations and mutual concessions. Despite the road to peace being filled with obstacles, understanding the conflict is an initial step towards finding a resolution. As we continue to grapple with the complexities of this conflict, let's remember the inherent value of every human life and strive for a world where peace is more than just a distant dream. That's it for our detailed breakdown of the Gaza War 2023. This issue necessitates constant vigilance. If you found this video insightful, like and subscribe. Your support propels us to deliver more content like this. We appreciate your thoughts. Share them in the comments. Hit the notification bell to stay updated. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged.